Good evening. Thank you for joining us this evening. I would ask you at this time to please stand and join us at the Pledge of Allegiance. Whatever it says. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We will move into the superintendent's report. Dr. Hinson.
A couple of things for you this evening, and some of you were able to attend this event last night. We were able to honor two of our excellent teachers, the Kansas Teacher of the Year celebration. Shawnee Hammond is a Title I reading teacher for us at the elementary level, and so she was recognized last night, and we're very, very proud of her. At the secondary level, it was Jason Coates, and Jason is a teacher for us at West Ridge Middle School. Now think about this combination. He not only teaches science, but also theater. Interesting combination, but two excellent teachers for our district that were honored along with a number of other teachers last night, so it was a great event. I don't think we can have enough celebrations to really recognize the excellent job of our teachers. All of you are aware there was a little issue today in our community, and I'm going to take the time to read a press release to you from the Overland Park Police Department. This will clarify some situations. About 7:30 a.m. this morning, Overland Park Police received a phone number from an individual who referenced a possible threat to an area high school. The police department called the phone number provided, and the female who answered explained a teenage male, whom she identified as her son, was upset about a disturbance he was involved in over the weekend somewhere in the county. She stated her son was a high school student in Missouri and provided his name. She further stated he was possibly en route to a Johnson County high school and might be armed. Again, from the police department, when we attempted to get further information, she hung up the phone. The officer tried to call back and got no answer. A few minutes later, the female called back and said her son returned home. He was not armed, everything was okay, and then she hung up again. Upon callback, the phone number had a recording that said the phone line was disconnected and no longer in service. The police department alerted area school districts of the possible threat and any suspect information. We received our initial information about 11 o'clock this morning of any concern whatsoever, and it was sometime later before we received any detailed information. Through our investigation, we were able to determine the named individual was not a student in an identified Missouri school. We were also unable to locate any person in the area by that given name. In addition to this, the phone number that was originally provided was identified of an unassigned landline by the phone carrier. At this time, we have been unable to substantiate the information received to validate any threat. The Overland Park Police Department is continuing to investigate any leads and are following up on information as it is available. They go on to say the police department will provide extra patrol around schools as necessary. So at this point in time, they cannot even validate the name that was given to them, and the phone number that was given to them is not an assigned number. And so certainly that's beneficial information to us. We did learn a couple of things from this today. We actually overloaded our email system this afternoon trying to communicate with parents, so that we were trying to send out thousands of email at the same time, and we overloaded that system. Some of those email maybe have not been received yet because we were trying to send out so many thousands of email at the same time this afternoon. The other thing that we now know, we do not have a comprehensive phone system that will send out a phone call to 27,500 numbers within a very short period of time. Our current system has the capability of calling 27,500 numbers over the course of about 3 days. And so obviously that is not beneficial in this type of a situation. And so in an effort to try to communicate, that's really difficult for us in a very timely fashion, and we will work to rectify that situation. In addition, parents can certainly help us. We offer an opportunity for them to sign up for text or email alert. If they don't sign up for that, they're not on the list to notify. And so they need to make sure that they have signed up for that as well. We did hear from folks today to say we didn't even receive a text, and we went back to look. well, they hadn't signed up to receive a text message. So they can help us with that process as well. So at this point in time, it looks like the water is calm, if you will, in relation to this issue. But from any type of situation like this, certainly we can learn information and we can improve as a school district. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any speakers in open forum, Mrs. Wintering? Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the approval of minutes for this special meeting of August 26th.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Mack. Thank you, Mrs. Bisfield. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you. Motion carries 7-0. For the approval of minutes for the regular meeting of August 26th.
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Dr. Denny and Mrs. Neighbor. Is there any discussion on this? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Thank you. Motion carries 7-0. Adoption of the agenda.
I move adoption of the agenda.
Thank you,
Second.
Mrs. Levens. Thank you, Mrs. Goodburn. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries 7-0. Approval of routine business by consent. Is there any item a board member would like to remove from consent? Mrs. Neighbor.
I move approval of routine business by consent.
Second. Thank you, Mrs. Goodburn. Any discussion on this? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries 7-0. Okay, that moves us forward to P, Dr. Hinson.
This is the second reading of a series of board policies. I've asked Dr. Strike if he would address the issue. Again, this evening, he's been working diligently, trying to put all these things in place. As you know, this was the decision that was made at the state level, and we're required to adopt these policies. So, Dr. Strike?
I know that you've had an opportunity to review this set of policies along with the exhibits that are associated with the forms, and I'm open to any questions that you might have after further review of this rather extensive document.
Any questions? I would just say that this is going to entail a whole lot of training for personnel in all different facets, right? We're all throughout the district.
Yes, ma'am. And not to be presumptuous, but based on final board approval, we have, along with Deb Meyer and her staff, have created a PowerPoint that's very similar to our bloodborne pathogens and sexual harassment training that is available on the district website for staff. And if this is approved by the board, we would go ahead and make that active, put it on our district webpage, and then we would craft a notification for principals to be able to clarify that for staff, so that prior to the mid-October, we'd have the opportunity for the staff to be fully invested in going through the PowerPoint, receiving the initial training, and there's also a quiz that's associated with it to be able to document that we've actually provided the training and that staff have completed the quiz.
Okay.
And this would be for certified as well as classified, all staff within the district that has contact with students.
Right. And it also includes bus personnel, is that correct?
Yes. Deb Meyer, we have met with, because Ron has provided the meeting, Ron Rowe had provided the meeting, we have met with First Student so that we could talk through that process and ensure that we had that training program available for their drivers. And Deb is going to be providing that training. Deb Meyer is going to be providing that training in Olathe at their facility. They have a training facility there.
Okay. Any other questions for Dr. Strike?
I
No?
don't have a question.
Okay.
Do you want a motion yet?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Strike.
Thank you.
I
Yes.
would move approval of new board policy, GAAF. Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Neighbor. Any other discussion on this? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. 7-0. Okay, P2. Are we going to go to these one by one here, I think? Okay. Is there more? Is there
I didn't know
more?
if Dr. Hinson was going to say anything
I
about
don't
this.
think
It's just
so.
the forms.
Did you
All
want to
right.
say anything more about it?
No,
Okay.
not
I thought
necessarily.
we'd,
Then I'd move approval.
thank you, Mrs. Mack.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Levens. Any other discussion on this? Thank you. Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries 7-0. We'll move on to P3.
So moved.
Thank you, Dr. Denny.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Goodburn. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. 7-0. P4. Just
Move approval.
Thank you, Mrs. Bisfield.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Neighbor. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries 7-0. And P5.
So moved.
Thank you, Dr. Denny.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Levens. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Okay. That moves us right down to board comments. Do we have any board comments for the evening? Dr. Denny.
I was in Topeka on Saturday to participate in the nominating committee meeting at KASB, and we interviewed 2 candidates for the position, and the committee has recommended both of them go forward. It was an interesting discussion, I think, because there does not, even though both candidates were qualified, the discussion sort of centered around, well, what happens if someone we find isn't? How do you have, is there a process for not recommending? And there doesn't seem to be. So this led to a further discussion about whether the board should in fact look at their bylaws and their charters of corporation and see if some more work ought to be considered for how that committee is charged and what they should do. But at any rate, the 2 will now make a video. They'll be seen at regional meetings, and we'll be happy to provide my opinion to our board delegate at the time that they go to convention.
Very good. Thank you. Other comments? As we've covered Teacher of the Year,
I just
Mrs.
want,
Mack?
Dr. Hinson, thank you for bringing that press release to our attention, because I know that information went out to the patrons in the district, and I've been getting parents calling me this afternoon, so I appreciate you bringing that to us tonight. Thank you.
Mrs. Goodburn?
I move that the Board of Education recess to executive session in order to consult with our attorney on matters deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship. The meeting will reconvene at 7:30.
Second.
No further business will be conducted following the executive session.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Okay. We'll be back in 17 minutes. 17 minutes.